Hello, this is Barbara Day, and I will be doing college prep arithmetic with two topics, one being mixed numbers, the other will be order of operation. And we will do a worksheet, and you will have a worksheet assignment that I will email to you. So let's get started. I will share my screen. Okay. Mixed numbers. What are mixed numbers? Mixed numbers consist of a whole number and a proper fraction. And proper fractions are fractions where the numerator, that's the top number, say like here, is smaller than the denominator. If the numerator was larger than the denominator, we call that an improper fraction. Okay, so what are mixed numbers? A whole number and a proper fraction. We have a diagram here. One, you notice 4 parts, each one represents a fourth, and that's the whole number. And then you have the fraction, the proper fraction, 3/4. Notice shaded, you have 3 parts of the circle, which represents the fraction 3/4. So mixed number, 3 parts, whole number, numerator, denominator. Whole number, numerator, denominator. That makes up a mixed number. You can see it over here on this diagram. Whole number is 2, numerator is 1, denominator is 5. That's a mixed number. Now, we want to be able to convert improper fractions to mixed numbers. And the way we do that, we divide the numerator by the denominator, the quotient, which is the answer for division. We write that down as the whole number, and we write down the remainder as the numerator and the divisor as the denominator. Now, let's just take 7 divided by 3. Okay, so we just write here 7 divided by 3. And notice I'm using the slash here to represent the division. You can put the 7 over the 3, and that's also division. So notice we have 3 outside here as a divisor, divided into 7 2 times. 2 times 3 is 6. 6 from 7 leave 1. So what is our mixed number? Our mixed number is 2, this number, and take the 1 here, put it over the 3, and that's 2 1/3. So let's just write that. 2, 1, 2 1/3. Okay, so let's keep going here. Now we can take some, well, let's try adding mixed numbers. Okay, if we want to add mixed numbers, what do we have to do? For instance, we want to add 1 1/2 plus 3 3/4. So what we do, we add the whole numbers separately. The whole numbers here are 1 and 3. 1 plus 3 equal 4. Then we take the fractions. The fractions are 1/2, 1 over 2, and 3/4, 3 over 4. Now, to add those, we can't add 1/2 and 3/4 as they are, because in order to add fractions, your denominators must be the same. So we want to convert our 1/2, and we can convert that to 2 over 4. I'll just put it over here. 1/2 equal 2 over 4. we call that the least common multiple is our 4. In other words, the number that we can divide both the 2 from the 1/2 and the 4 from the 3/4 into 4. So that's our least or smallest multiple. Okay. So 1/2 is 2/4. Now we can add them. We can add 2/4 plus 3/4. And let me just put it here. 2/4 plus 3/4. And that's equal to 5/4. Notice I can add those numerators 2 and 3 and I get 5, and then I can put it over that common denominator, which is 4. All right, make that a little bigger so you can see it. So now I can add what? I got the whole numbers. 1 plus 3 is 4. And then I've got 5/4, which converted to a mixed number is 1 1/4 right here. And all you do is divide 4 into 5 one time, and then you have a 1 remainder, and you put that over the 4. So now we can add the whole numbers, 4, sum 1 plus 3, and then we add our mixed number, 1 1/4. 4 plus 1, add the whole numbers, and you get 5, and then the 1/4 added to 0, because we don't have a fraction over here with the 4, and we get 5 1/4. So that's how you add mixed numbers. All right, add the whole numbers, find a least common multiple if the fractions don't have the same denominator. All right, and then you can then add the numerators when the denominators are the same. Okay, now let's go to our next, let's go to this diagram. Okay, now you can apply mixed numbers to the real world, like if you had pizza and you wanted to give somebody, you had a pizza and you had 8 slices, and you want to give one person 1 slice and 1 2 slice. So each one of those will represent part of the pizza. So 2 out of 8, which you can simplify to 1/4, would be 1/4 of the pizza. Now look at the watermelon here. You have 1 representing this 1 slice, and then you have 3/4 of a slice of the watermelon here. When you combine it, you get the whole number 1 and the 3/4 fractions. Okay, let's apply it to glasses of milk. You've got 1 whole glass of milk represented by this diagram, and you've got a half glass represented by this diagram. And when you combine them, 1 plus 1/2, you get a mixed number. Okay, now let's multiply mixed numbers. Okay, so what you have to do to multiply a mixed number, you first have to convert the mixed numbers to improper fractions. Remember, I said, and I'll just put it here, improper fractions characteristic is the numerator is greater than the denominator. Remember, the numerator is the one that is on the top, and on the bottom is the denominator. So when the numerator is greater than the denominator, that's an improper fraction. The proper fraction, the numerator is less than the denominator. So let me just put that here. Proper fractions. Okay. Numerator is less than the denominator. Now, it's important to know your terms and the meaning, right? So we convert mixed numbers to improper fractions. That's our first step. Then we multiply the numerators from each fraction to each other and place the product at the top. Remember, product is what you get from multiplication. You multiply the denominators, that's at the bottom, and you have that product. Then you can simplify or reduce your final answer because sometimes it's not in the lowest terms. So let's take an example of that. Here's an example. Mixed number 3 1/8 times 2 2/3. First step, convert the fractions to improper fraction. Okay, so we take this mixed number and notice how you do that. You take the denominator times the whole number and you add the numerator. That's what 3 times 8 plus 1, and that's over 8. That gives you 25 over 8. 8 times 3 is 24, plus 1 is 25. You get 25 over 8. The 2 2/3, you do the same thing. 3 times 2 is 6. Add the 2, that gives you 8 over 3. So you've done the first step. You converted each fraction to an improper fraction. All right, well, actually each mixed number. Now, you multiply the numerator and denominator. So you have 25 over 8 times 8 over 3. The numerators are 25 and 8. So you say 25 times 8, that's multiplication. And the denominator, 8 times 3. Now, notice you have an 8 in the numerator and an 8 in the denominator. So 8 over 8 is 1. So you have your answer 25 over 3. Now, if you didn't have these common factors at the top and bottom, you just multiply the top and multiply the bottom. Okay, so your answer is 25 over 3. Now, 25 over 3 is an improper fraction, and to convert from an improper fraction to a mixed number, you divide the denominator into the numerator, and that gives you 8. 3 times 8 is 24. 24 from 25 is 1. So you have a remainder of 1, and you put that over the denominator, 1 over 3. Okay. Now, let's look at how you divide mixed numbers. Here's an example here. 5 3/8 divided by 4 1/3. What's your first step? Change both of your mixed numbers to improper fractions. So 5 3/8, 8 times 5 is 40 plus 3 is 43. Then put that number over your denominator, which is 8. Do the same for the 4 1/3. 3 times 4 is 12. Plus 1 is 13. So 13 over the denominator 3. So now you just write a new division problem with the improper fractions. 43 over 8 divided by 13 over 3. Now the rule when you're dividing fractions, you flip the divisor. That means you invert it. 13 over 3 becomes 3 over 13. So you keep the first fraction and you change this fraction, then I'm sorry, you change your operation from division to multiplication, and then you flip the divisor. Okay, so the KCF method, just remember that. You keep the first fraction, change your division to multiplication, and flip this divisor. Flip this fraction. So 13 over 3 becomes 3 over 13. So the first one you kept the same, 43 over 8. The division became multiplication, and you flip this divisor. So this becomes 3 over 13. Then you multiply numerators, multiply denominators. 3 times 43 divided by 8 times 13. 3 times 43, 3 times 3 is 9, 3 times 4 is 12, and then 8 times 13 is 104. 8 times 3 is 24, 4 and 2 to carry. 8 times 1 is 8 and 2 is 10. That's how you get 129 divided by 104. Then you take this improper fraction and convert it to a mixed number. So how do you do that? You take the 104, the 129 and divided by the 104. So this is what you'll have. This is how we got the 1 over 25 over 104. So you have 125, let's see, divided by 104, right? And that will give you a 1, right? And then you subtract the 104. I'm sorry, this is 129, not 104. So it's 129 divided by 104. And when you subtract the 104 from the 129, you get 25. So that's how you get the 1 and then the fraction 25 over 104. And that's a mixed number. Okay, just like we did the ones before. Okay, and that's your answer. Now, you'll have some mixed number problems on your worksheet. In fact, we'll look at a worksheet with a mixed number problem. Now, make sure you go through this really carefully, and I'll probably give you some examples to practice on and to make sure you have them right. And I'll probably give you that before I give you your other sheet. So you'll have an extra worksheet. And then once you do the work, you can send me the answers. You can text them or email, and I'll check that they are correct to make sure you understand mixed numbers. I want to make sure you can add them, you can divide them, you can multiply. And subtraction. Subtraction is basically reverse of addition. Now, let's look at our next topic, which is order of operations. And all order of operations is a sequence that you do a problem that had multiple operations. There's a standard way that is done. And if you don't do it the standard way, you'll find you'll get incorrect answers. So pay attention. We call this PEMDAS. And where does PEMDAS come from? It comes from the different sequence of the operation. So P, parenthesis, E, exponent, M, multiplication, D, division, A, addition, and S, subtraction. So this is the order that you do the operations. Sometimes it's called please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. So you know the please, parenthesis, excuse, exponent, my multiplication, dear division, aunt addition, Sally subtraction. Now, let's go through each one of these where we have the order. Now, you do parentheses before you do anything else. This is the first operation you do when you have a sequence of, when you have a problem that have several operations. If you have parentheses, you want to do that first. Solve all the operations in the parentheses. Okay. Now, exponents, that's just the powers, right? Raising a number to a power. Like if you had, let's just say here, put here, say if you had 2, and let's just put a power here. Okay, 3. That says 2 raised to the 3rd power. The 2 is the base and the 3 is the exponent. All right, just to give you an example. Okay, so 2 to the 3rd power, what that means is you want to multiply 2 by itself 3 times. 2 times 2 times 2, and that's 8. Okay, so that's exponents. Now, multiplication and division, you move from left to right, whichever one comes first. Division comes first, you do that one from left to right. Multiplication comes first, you do that multiply from left to right. Addition, subtraction, basically the same. You do it from left to right, you add or subtract, whichever operation comes first. Okay. Now I have a nice little color chart here for PEMDAS. And let's just go through that, because if you understand this, that will help you in your problem solving. So look what we have here. We have 10 divided by, in parentheses, 3 plus 2 times 4 plus 5 to the 2nd power plus 6 minus 9. Now, according to PEMDAS, which one do we do first? The parentheses. And notice they have in the red here, parentheses 3 plus 2. We do that one first. That gives you 5. Now, this number 2, 3 plus 2, you add the 5, you did what was in parentheses. Now you have 10 divided by 5 times 4 plus 5 to the 2nd power plus 6 minus 9. Now, what is next? The blue exponent. What is the exponent? That 2, 5 raised to the 2nd power. So you do that one next, right here. 5 to the 2nd power means 5 times 5. And what does that give you? 25. So now your expression is 10 divided by 5 times 4 plus 25 plus 6 minus 9. Now, what is the next one? The next operation is multiplication. Next operation is, actually it's multiplication and division, whichever one comes first. So since the division came first here, we do 10 divided by 5 is 2. So now this becomes 2 times 4 plus 25 plus 6 minus 9. And we have multiplication came next. 2 times 4 is multiplication. That gives you 8. So now your expression becomes 8 plus 25 plus 6 minus 9. Now we into addition and subtraction. So that little pink A for addition, we add 8 plus 25, because left to right, that came first. So 8 plus 25 is 33. Then we have plus 6 minus 9. So we have addition, 33 plus 6, still in the pink, and that gives you 39. Then what is next? Subtraction. There's the S in the lavender. 39 minus 9, and 9 from 39 gives 30. So by following this chart, you see it matches the PEMDAS. Parentheses, exponents, multiplication and division, whichever one comes first, doing it left to right, addition, subtraction, whichever one comes first, left to right. Now, let's take example 1. 4 to the second power minus 6 times 2 divided by 4 times 3 plus 5. Now, which one do you do first? Do the exponent, right? Because you don't have any parentheses here. So the exponent is 4 to the second power. That gives you 16, right? So 16 minus 6 times 2 divided by 4 times 3 plus 5. Now, after the exponent, what do you see over here? Multiplication and division. So you do the multiplication and division from left to right. So the division is 12 divided by 4. That gives you the 3 here, right? So now you have 16 minus 3 times 3 plus 5. 3 times 3 is 9, right? Now you're down to subtraction and addition, left to right. 16 minus 9 is what? 7. Then you add 7 to the 5, and your answer is 12. All right, so that's example 1. Now let's go to example 2. 2 plus 5 to the second plus 4 times 3 minus 10. Now, what do you do first? What do you think you do first? You have to do what is in parentheses. So what is in parentheses? 2 plus 5 to the second, but that's a power, right? So this becomes what? 2 plus 25. 5 times 5 is 25. All right. Plus, let's just write the rest of it, 4 times 3 minus 10. Now, what do you do next? What comes next? All right, the next one is what? The multiplication, 4 times 3. So let's just write this. 2 plus 25. And 4 times 3 is 12. So that's plus 12 minus 10. Now, what do you do next? What's the next thing that you do? Okay, so addition, left to right. So 2 plus 25 plus 12. Okay, 2 plus 25 is 27. So you have 27, okay, plus 12 minus 10. 27 plus 12 is 39. So you have 39 minus 10, and that's equal to 29. Okay, so that's how you would do that one. Notice we did parentheses first, but parentheses had an exponent. So we did 5 to the second. 5 times 5 is 25, and 2 plus 25 is 27. Now you could have just added here 27. You didn't have to do this because it says do everything in parentheses. So you could really put the 27 here. Right? And then we did the, okay, the plus, and then the 4 times 3 is 12. So we didn't have to really, okay. Because we should complete what's in parentheses. So that would be 2 plus 5 to the second is 25, and 2 plus 25. So now we have our 27. That would complete everything that's within the parentheses. Okay. And then we do our multiplication. 4 times 3 is 12. Add left to right, 27 and 12, 39, minus 10 is 29. Okay, and that's your answer, 29. Now, what would you do for the next one? 10 minus 14 divided by 2. Now, you're going to do the division first, right? So this would be 10. And what is, okay, minus 14 divided by 2 is 7, right? Then you do the subtraction. So 10 minus 7 equal 3. That's your answer. Do the division first. 14 divided by 2 is 7. Then the subtraction. 10 minus 7 is 3. Okay, let's go to our next problem. Now notice this says 4 times 7 minus 3 times 8 times 1 divided by 2 plus 5 plus 10. Now we have to do what is in parentheses first. So let me just copy this. Did you figure out how you do this one? Okay. All right. So in parentheses, we have 8 times 1, and that's multiplication. So we do multiplication and division in the order that they come. So 8 times 1 is 8. 8 divided by 2 is 4. And then 4 plus 5 is 9. So let me just put the 8 times 1 is 8. Then we do the 8 divided by 2 is 4. So I'll copy this over because we're doing it in steps. Right. Put this here. So 8 divided by 2 is 4. So this would be 4. Notice we're doing everything that's within the parentheses. So that's 4 plus 5. All right, now let's copy this. Okay, so 4 plus 5 is 9. So that would be 9. And that would take care of the parentheses. So let's just take our parentheses out because now we added the 4 and the 5 and we got 9. Okay, now what do we do next? So we have multiplication and subtraction and adding. So left to right, 4 times 7 is what? 28. Okay. Minus 3 times 9 is 27. So that's subtraction. 3 times 9 is 27. And that's plus 10. Right? 28 minus 27 is 1. So do the subtraction because that came first. So that's 1. Then add the 10. And that's equal to 11. All right, so your answer is 11. Okay, now that's our order of operation examples. Now let's look at our worksheet. It has a variety of problems. So let's go to a new share and what to do. Okay. Math worksheet number 3. Now, you know what remainder is. Remainder from when you divide something, what is left over is remainder. So if you divide 582 by 3, let's do that. Okay. Okay, so we have 582 Okay, 582 divided by 3. Now, 582 divided by 3. So we have 3 into the 5. Well, okay. So 3 into the 5 is 1 time. 3 from 5 is 2. 3 into 28 is 7, is what? 8 times. 8 times 3 is 24. I'm sorry, 9 times. 9, that's 3 into 28. 9 times 3 is 27. And then you have 27 from 28 is 1, and 3 into 12 is 4 times. So you get equal 194. Okay, now I want you to do this on your own. Do it, put the 582 inside the box and 3 outside. Now you get 194 and remainder of 0. So the remainder is 0. So what is your answer? Your answer is a S3R. Which one has 0? That's A. Answer A. All right. So do it the long way. 3 times 4 is 12. And if I multiply 3 times 194, I should get 582. 3 times 194 is, and you can just do it, okay. And that should be equal to 582. 3 times 4 is 12, 2 and 1 to carry. 3 times 9 is 27, and 1, 28, and 2 to 8 and 2 to carry, and 3 times 1 is 3 and 2 is 5. So you know that's correct. Now, this next example is an order of operation. So let's just take this and copy it. Say evaluate, you want to simplify that. Okay, so what do we do first? 13. Okay, so we do our division, all right, and multiplication. So 1/2 divided by 36. Remember what I said, when you're dividing, you do what? Leave the first fraction the same, change the operation, and flip it. So 1/2, and let me just put this here as 1/2. And let me put my division sign here. Divided by 36. Okay. Leave the 1/2 the same. All right. So you're going to keep that 1/2. Change the division to multiplication. So that becomes multiplication times, and then flip the 36. So 36 over 1 becomes 1 over 36. So we following our rule, right? We kept the 1/2. We changed the operation from division to multiplication, and then we flip this divisor. 36 over 1 became 1 over 36. Now you can just multiply numerators, multiply denominators. 1 times 1 is 1, and 36 times 2 is 72. All right. So what we have is 1 over 72 Let me just rewrite this and put our 1/72 here. And I'm going to the next page. So I want to put that there. And we got what? When we multiply that out, let's put our answer. We kept the 1/2, changed the operation to multiplication, and flipped the 36/1 to 1/36. So that became 1/72. So let me put 1/72. Take out this because that's what we got. Okay. 1/72 plus 16 times 1/72. Now, what's the next operation? Okay, the next operation is multiplication. 16 times 1/72, right? So what we will have is, let me just copy that. So 1/72 and 16 times 1/72 is 16 times 1 is 16. And that would be over the denominator 72. Okay, so they're over the same denominator, so you can add the numerators. 1 plus 16 is 17. So our answer becomes 17/72. All right, that's our answer. Make that a little bigger. And which one is 7? That's answer A, right? Answer A. Now, notice this problem. We used our order of operations, right? And we used the rule I gave you when you divide by a fraction, where you keep the first fraction, change the operation from division to multiplication, and then you multiply. And I'm sorry, then you flip the divisor and multiply. Let's go to 13. What percent of 70 is equivalent to 28? Now, this then is just a division. You're saying 28 is what part of 70? How would you solve that? Well, what number goes into 28 and also goes into 70? Right? What is that number? 7. 28 can be divided by 7. And 70 can be divided by 7. Okay. So what does this become? Okay. So this would be 28. And I'll just put this underneath here. Okay. 28/7. Right. And I have 70/7. 70/7. Okay. Now we don't need this. We just need the fractions on the line. So 28/7 is 4. 70/70 is 10. So that means 28/7 equals 4/10. And that's equal to 40/100. So, or if you put it as a percent, 40%, because percent is the ratio of a number to 100. So 28/70, 28 divided by 7 is 4. 70 divided by 7 is 10. So 28 over 70 is 4 over 10, which is 40 over 100. And to get our answer, which is in percent, we get what? 40%. So answer is B, 40%. Okay, let's make that a little bigger. Okay. All right, now let's go to our next problem. And we're going to take this to the next page. Sophie went to a candy store, purchased 3 fudge slices for $3.98 each. If she paid with a $20 bill, how much change did she receive? Okay. All right. Now, what we have here is $3.98 for 1 slice. 3 slices would be 3 times $3.98. So 3 times $3.98 would be the cost of 3 slices. So if we multiply that 3 times that, we get $11.94. $11.94. So that's what Sophie spent for the 3 fudge slices. Now, if she paid with a $20 bill, what you have to do is subtract that $11.94 from $20. So $20 minus $11.94. What is that equal to? That's equal to $8.06. So our answer is what? Answer B. Okay. So you did a multiplication and you did a subtraction. Now you could have rounded $3.98 off to $4 and say 3 times 4 is 12, and 12, you have 12 from 20 is 8, but you had 2 cents on each of these. When you round it off to 4, that's like 2 plus 2 plus 2 is 6, and you get $8.06. That's another way of doing it. Okay. Now we have a mixed number. How do we convert? This is an improper fraction. All right. 28 divided by 6. What is that equal to? Divide 6 into 28 and you get what? 6 goes into 28 4 times. 4 times 6 is 24. 24 from 28 leaves 4. So you have a remainder of 4 over 6, right? That's your remainder. 4, and you put it as a fraction, 4 over 6, all right? But let's simplify that. What is 4 over 6 equal to? What's the least common multiple of 4 over 6? 4 and 6 can be divided by 2. That's the least common multiple. And that will to give 2 over 3. So your answer would be 4 and 2/3. So this will be your answer. So answer is D, which is 4 and 2/3. For 6, divide 4 by 2, you get 2. Divide 6 by 2, you get 3. So that's how you get 4 and 2/3. So we applied what we learned on our mixed numbers. Okay, so that will end our session. And I think I have already emailed you your next worksheet, but in addition, I will send you a worksheet applying what we did for mixed numbers and for order of operation as a separate assignment. And if you have any problems on that, just give me a call. Otherwise, work them out, text me or email me the answers. So I hope this was clear to you. I mean, some of it is actually a review, and hopefully it'll all come back. So thank you for sharing, and goodbye.